Hello everybody, welcome back to my movie review series. Today we'll be discussing The Girl Next Door. Romantic comedy, just finished watching it on Hulu. I also watched Notorious, the fictional biopic of Christopher Wallace yesterday. I'll do a review right after this. But you know how we do it. I will give you my overall impressions and grade after reading the logistics about the movie as provided by Google. If you have not seen the movie, would like to, based or not based on my recommendation, you want to shut off the video. There will be spoiler alerts. We're discussing the plot synopsis and character development and any similar movies or major themes. So, The Girl Next Door is released in 2004. It is rated R. It is a romance/comedy. It has a runtime of an hour and 48 minutes. You can watch it for free on Plex, whatever that is, but I watched it on Hulu. So Google says it's amusing, crafty, and moving, and says 18-year-old Matthew Kidman, played by Emile Hirsch, is a straight-arrow overachiever who has never really lived life until he falls for the new neighbor, the beautiful and seemingly innocent Danielle, played by Elisha Cuthbert. When Matthew discovers this perfect girl next door is a one-time porn star, his sheltered existence becomes to spin out of control. Ultimately, Danielle helps Matthew emerge from his shell and discover that sometimes you have to risk everything for the person you love. Did $30.4 million at the box office. 84% liked it on Google, 7 out of 10 on Blu-ray.com, whatever that is. 56% liked it on Rotten Tomatoes, and 6.7 out of 10 got it rounded up to 6.9, especially for a movie like this, out of 10 on IMDb. So, overall, what did I think about it? Again, the genre, I like romantic comedies. They never really. There's a couple I really like the Fault in Our Stars. I thought that was a really good one. But this was way more on the raunchy side, and I can definitely get down with some raunchy stuff. So overall, I thought it was playful. I thought it was fun. It's kind of over the top, kind of stupid at parts, but I enjoyed it. So I'm going to give it a B- for the lower end of entertaining. So, if you've not seen it, I think it is a raunchy rom-com it does have some plot development that I didn't necessarily see coming entirely, but overall B-, lower end of entertaining. So the movie opens up, you meet Matt Kidman, he's in school, they're seniors, he's got his two best friends, Tim Klitz, obviously there's a guy named Klitz in this movie, and his other friend Eli Brooks. But basically, he is the president of something in his school. They're seniors. They're at the end of their school year. He gets accepted into Georgetown. And he has this big meeting for a scholarship dinner later on in the movie. He's also trying to get this Cambodian dude named Sam Nung into the country. He's raised like $25,000 to bring some prodigy to the school to study in America and hopefully do good for the school reputation. They have like a little school assembly, and then Matt goes back home to his house. So when he gets home, he sees this little blue buggy, like a Volkswagen Bug car outside the neighbor's house, and he goes up into his room, and the characterizations of Eli Brooks, he's always watching porn. He's always watching porn. He's the character saying he's going to bang everybody. He's just going to have sex with all the hot chicks. So Tim Klitz gets into Yale. Again, that college part's very minor in the movie. Not super minor, but that's just kind of his characterization. He's kind of the more timid one out of the group. Eli is kind of the bombastic, telling he's going to fuck everybody, and Matt is kind of like, just kind of in between, more normal characterization. And so when he gets home, he goes up into the room, and he sees Danielle just getting undressed in her room. And it's, again, the house is real close together, and you can see right in. And so she takes her bra off, she's in her underwear, and she kind of turns around and sees him staring at him. So he ducks down real quick, and then you get a knock on the door, and it's her. And so he's kind of freaking out. It's very kind of a similar scene to, I think, Disturbia came out after this movie. Very kind of similar, kind of open to the movie, which I did like Disturbia as well, but that's not hosted on anything right now. At least none of the free ones that I do. But anyway, Danielle comes over, and Matt's like freaking out, like she's gonna, be mad or whatever. And then she kind of just like, let's go for a drive. And so she's kind of like playing into it, thinking she's right around Matt's age as well. But she makes him strip in the street, and so she was like, you see me, did you like it? And so you can kind of tell she's kind of like flirting with him or being playful with him in like kind of like a romantic way. So he strips down, and then she kind of like drives off. Which is gotta be the most classic dad joke in the world. Is when someone's trying to like get in the car, and you just keep drive up a little further. I've seen so many people do that. My dad did that to my mom all the time when I was around him. But she starts doing that type of movement, where it's like she just drives the car so he can't get in. He eventually gets back in after walking back with a little inner tube around his private parts, and gets taken back to his house. And so they also go to a diner like the next day or something, or maybe all on the same night. But Danielle says, she quit her job, and she draws a little picture of herself and gives it to Matt, and Matt is definitely crushing over Danielle. And so Matt is on the phone call with Eli, and Eli's watching porn again. He makes Tim Klitz watch some porn with him as well. Again, you don't really see it. I mean, there's some nudity is rated R, but nothing super sexual. Well, there are some boobies, but that's about it. But regardless, the next day, Eli calls in Matt to this, video production at the school area. And he's like, I gotta show you something. And so he pops in a VHS tape. Again, this was made in 2004. And he sees Danielle was a porn star in the past. And so Eli's now like, dude, bro, take her, do these things and go bang her at this cheap motel. And so Matt does those things. Danielle kind of goes along with it. And once she gets to the hotel, she kind of starts taking her clothes off. It's like, isn't this what you wanted? I'm sure you've seen some tape by now. And so Danielle's kind of sad, like she's kind of down with it, but she was like, she liked Matt because the way that he looked at her outside of just being a piece of meat for sex. And so regardless, Matt kind of chokes up and he doesn't go through with it. And then the next day, Matt goes over to Danielle to tell him that he is sorry, that he really does like her for who she is. But once he goes in there, bam, out pops Timothy Olyphant. Did not see that coming. And so he plays a porn producer or director in this, and his name is Kelly. And so at first, I really enjoyed the relationship between Matt and Kelly. I thought it was kind of funny. I thought the Kelly character was rather entertaining. Again, I'm a fan of Timothy Olyphant. Did not see him coming in this movie. But regardless, he pops out, and he was Danielle's former producer or director. And so he's like, clearly you like Danielle, blah, 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 but we have to go to this conference in New York. So I guess another minor scene before this is Danielle, Matt, Tim, and Eli all go to a party. It's hosted by some of they're all seniors, but more popular, I guess, of the high school group. And they get kicked out of the party. Well, one of the other dudes is like Matt, you have to leave. We'll take good care of Danielle. And Matt just kind of puts the foot down and goes up and kisses her. And so then him and Danielle, I don't know if I'm missing some scenes, but they kind of like skinny dipping or just, swimming in their underwear at the principal's house. They don't get caught. And yeah, that's about that. And so he also skips class one day. He goes with her on this in her little Volkswagen buggy, and she's again trying to break him out of his shell and just do more things. Because again, the opening scene is like him writing in the yearbook, like, I'll always remember hasn't had any life experience at all. So they also discussed that kind of at the diner. But now after Matt took her to the motel, she was just like, I'm going to go back and just do what my job is. And she's back with Kelly. They do go to like a strip club once. Matt sees one of his parents' friends there, who's a regular, I guess. They get a lap dance, they smoke a cigar. And then the next day, Danielle and Kelly are going to go to Vegas. And so Matt's kind of like at a loss for what to do. And then his friends Tim and Eli are like, let's go to Vegas too and go get her. And so they show up to a porn conference. Tim and Eli pretend to be producers, haphazardly. They just kind of sit down, and this porn star chick sits across from him and is like, are you a director? Can we use you in your movies? And they're like, yeah. And then she introduces them to her boyfriend, whose name is Mule, who's this big dude. And so another guy's like, they're not producers, and he's literally like feeling her boobs. So I guess they're trying to audition for a porn shoot. And so they get chased out of there. Matt is approaching Danielle. She's Athena on stage as her porn name. They're kind of like showcasing. It's just a big conference. And so he keeps telling Danielle, you can do more than this. He gives her back the picture of that she drew at the diner, and he leaves there. And so the next day he shows up. Kelly shows up to Matt's house, or literally like yanks Matt out of class in school. So I'm sure that's not a super realistic scene. Some random dude coming in to the school unannounced and just pulling a kid out of class. I think some cops would be called pretty quickly. But regardless, he takes him out of class and he's like, you cost me $30,000 because Danielle didn't show up to the shoot because of you, and so you owe me that money and we're gonna get it back. And so also previous to this, when Matt and Kelly have a more amicable relationship, Matt goes to this local bank and again has to raise raised 25 grand to bring this Cambodian dude over. And Kelly is with him, and Matt doesn't want to introduce him as a porn director. He's like, he's my student advisor. And so regardless, now Kelly wants his money back that Danielle didn't show up, so it cost him 30 grand. So they go to Hugo Pash's house, who's a rival or just another porn producer. And Kelly basically punches Matt. Well, first fakes like he wants a blowjob from him, then punches him, and then says, here's some Tylenol, and it's really ecstasy. And so they go into Hugo's house. Matt steals. He's like, go steal this trophy, and it's just a big golden dick. And so once he gets into the house, Kelly leaves and calls the cops on Matt to set him up. And so Matt steals the golden wiener, gets out of the house. Hugo kind of chases him. The cops kind of chase him, but he gets away. Kind of just hides on this bank of a road. And kind of gets away. And so he goes back to the bank to close down this account so now he's got this, he's got to go to this dinner to get the scholarship, because at the very beginning of the movie he gets into Georgetown University but doesn't have enough money to attend. So he's got to apply for the scholarship, and he has to go give the speech. He's now dosed with ecstasy. He is with Danielle supporting him in his date. They show up 30 minutes, 40 minutes late. He's tripping on ecstasy and, really friendly with everybody, and, kind of a drug scene. And regardless, they go up there to give a speech. He kind of freestyles it, and they have to give a speech on moral fiber or something. But regardless, he freestyles a speech, gets a standing ovation, and then still does not get the scholarship. And so, I think, minor plot nuance, but I think the reason he's trying to close down the account for Som Nong is to maybe cover the 30 grand, or is just to, because I think after he steals the golden wiener, he's supposed to be on good terms with Kelly, but he doesn't get a scholarship, so it's not sure if he's trying to close down so Som Nong can't come, or if he needs the money for school, or why. But regardless, he goes to shut down the account or cash it out, and Kelly had already cashed out the account because he had been introduced as the school guidance counselor, and they flirted with the bank teller, and they didn't ID him or whatever. And so regardless, he is now out of money. And so they basically have no idea what they're going to do. And then they devise a plan which you don't really get told as the viewer, but they go to Hugo Pash to help him be their partner. And he's like, if you pull this off, kid, you'll be able to bring your Samsungs, what he calls them. But regardless, so now you're not exactly sure what they're going to do, but Danielle has some of her porn star friends fly in. They're all going to prom. Danielle's never been to prom before. Matt and Danielle are now a thing. And regardless, they go into the prom. There's a bunch of cameras, and you're kind of thinking as a viewer they're going to do a porn shoot. And so, obviously super unrealistic. They sneak away from prom, literally in the school, and start filming all of these different things. But regardless, that's what happens. And so they go from different scene to different scene. You're not really sure what's exactly going on. And then they finish up the shoot, and the next day, Eli cannot find the tape. And so, getting to the resolution of the movie, Kelly is now back in the picture, and however he has now gotten the tape. And so basically, Kelly is at Matt's house with his parents, as well as with his teacher or his principal. And so he's like, if you don't give me back, or let me get half of whatever you make on this, I'm going to show your parents what you've been doing. And so Matt's finally just like, I don't care, go ahead. And so they pop in the movie video, the video, and again it's a VHS tape.
and they realized that Matt and his friends had made a sex education video, not a porn video. And so the parents are kind of cool with it, and the teacher's like, this is kind of, this is all right, but it does teach better education than before. So I really didn't see that coming. There was some premonition, some inclination that it's going to be like that at the beginning that I didn't notice, but they're talking about how bad they're watching a sex education video, and they're like, who made this so bad? I could have done better. Like, that's one of Eli's lines. But regardless, they had made a sex education tape to just to modernize the time about talking about sex. And so the parents are okay with it. Kelly's just like, literally says, what the fuck is this? And so I really like his characterization throughout. But regardless, they go on to sell the tape. It does really well. It's the top sex education video, and Matt is able to pay for himself to go to Georgetown. And so he stays with Danielle, so he gets the girl in the end, and he's able to go to Georgetown with the money that he made, and it's a best-selling sex education tape. So that is the resolution to the movie. Again, raunchy, fun. I thought the plot actually had some depth to it. Overall, B-. So similar movies, major themes. Again, just kind of the opening scene seems similar to Disturbia, not really overall in content. But whatever one with Jennifer Lawrence is that's coming out or came out about, trying to have sex with a high school kid that's, kind of recluse before he goes to college. And so I haven't seen that one. That one looked kind of funny. But again, going to one movie anymore costs the same for a subscription for a month for, where I can make 15 to 30 different reviews. So I haven't been going to the theaters, and I don't plan to be returning. But major themes, being able to make money, absolutely not. You are not allowed to start a business in this country. But maybe not much major themes, just a romantic comedy that's raunchy and playful. So overall, I found it entertaining, B-. So thank you for watching my review of The Girl Next Door, and I'll see you on the next one.